Most people associate the word hormones with puberty or menopause, or maybe with mood swings and reproductive health. But in reality, hormones are far more powerful and influential than we give them credit for. These chemical messengers are responsible for regulating nearly every function in the body, from metabolism and appetite to sleep cycles, mood, immune response, reproductive processes, and how we store or burn fat. Despite this, most of us are taught to think about health in terms of calories, carbs, and workouts, with weight loss often the primary goal. But if you really want to change how your body feels, looks, and functions, you need to focus not just on weight, but on supporting and stabilizing your hormones. Eating for hormonal balance doesn't mean going on a strict diet. It means choosing foods that work with your body's natural processes instead of against them. It means stabilizing your energy, improving your mood, enhancing your sleep, and setting the foundation for long-term health. 3 of the most important hormones to understand and support are estrogen, cortisol, and insulin. These 3 play critical roles in your body's metabolic and emotional landscape, and when they're out of balance, you feel it, whether in the form of bloating, fatigue, stubborn weight gain, irritability, brain fog, or worse. Let's start with estrogen. Though commonly associated with women's reproductive systems, estrogen plays a role in both male and female health. It supports bone density, brain function, heart health, and the growth and repair of tissues. But when estrogen becomes too dominant in the body, a condition often called estrogen dominance, it can lead to a wide variety of symptoms: PMS, irregular periods, weight gain around the hips and thighs, heavy bleeding, bloating, anxiety, and even an increased risk of breast or uterine cancer. One of the most effective natural ways to support estrogen balance is through dietary fiber. Fiber helps the body eliminate excess estrogen by binding to it in the gut and escorting it out through the digestive system. Without enough fiber, that estrogen may get reabsorbed into the bloodstream, further contributing to hormonal imbalance. Women should aim for at least 25 grams of fiber per day. Men should get closer to 30 to 35 grams. Great sources of fiber include beans, lentils, oats, flax seeds, chia seeds, fruits, vegetables, and whole grains. In addition to fiber, cruciferous vegetables are estrogen-balancing superstars. Broccoli, cauliflower, cabbage, Brussels sprouts, and kale contain compounds like indole, 3-carbinol and sulforaphane that support detoxification pathways in the liver, the main site where estrogen is broken down. These compounds help the body convert estrogen into its safer, more neutral forms instead of letting it linger in its more active, inflammatory forms. Including 1 or 2 servings of these vegetables daily can make a big difference over time. Now let's look at cortisol, the hormone released in response to stress. Cortisol is essential in short bursts. It helps us wake up in the morning, mobilize energy, and respond to emergencies. But when stress becomes chronic due to overwork, lack of sleep, anxiety, excessive caffeine, poor diet, or even overexercising, cortisol stays elevated. This leads to blood sugar swings, cravings, especially for sugar and salt, belly fat storage, poor sleep, and fatigue. The good news is that cortisol is heavily influenced by what and how we eat. The first rule of cortisol management is stabilizing blood sugar. Large spikes and crashes in blood sugar lead to reactive cortisol releases. This is why skipping meals or eating sugar-heavy snacks sets you up for a hormonal roller coaster. Focus on eating balanced meals with high-quality protein, healthy fats, and slow-burning carbohydrates. A breakfast of eggs cooked in olive oil with spinach and avocado is infinitely better for cortisol stability than a bowl of cereal or a bagel with jam. Throughout the day, meals should continue this balance. Lunch might include grilled salmon over quinoa with roasted vegetables and tahini. Dinner could be a lentil stew with leafy greens and a slice of whole grain sourdough. Another cortisol-calming nutrient is magnesium, which helps your muscles relax and your nervous system wind down. It's depleted by stress, so replenishing it through food is essential. Leafy greens like Swiss chard and spinach, seeds like pumpkin and sunflower, and even small amounts of dark chocolate are excellent magnesium sources. Vitamin C is another powerful tool for lowering cortisol, as it has been shown to reduce stress levels and shorten the recovery time after exposure to stress. Add more bell peppers, citrus fruits, kiwi, berries, and broccoli to your diet to naturally support vitamin C intake. Even hydration plays a role in cortisol regulation. Mild dehydration has been shown to increase cortisol levels, so drinking enough water, typically 2 to 3 liters per day depending on your body size and activity level, is key. Finally, we come to insulin, the hormone that regulates how your body processes and stores sugar. When you eat carbohydrates, your body breaks them down into glucose, which enters the bloodstream. Insulin's job is to shuttle that glucose into your cells for energy. But if you're eating too many refined carbs or sugars, insulin is released constantly. Over time, your cells become resistant to it, meaning your body has to pump out more insulin just to do the same job. This condition, known as insulin resistance, is at the root of many chronic diseases, including type 2 diabetes, COS, and metabolic syndrome. The fix? Reduce refined carbs and sugar, increase fiber, and always pair your carbs with protein and fat. Swap white bread for sprouted grain. Choose brown rice over white. Add hummus to carrots or nut butter to your apple. Even the order in which you eat matters. Starting meals with vegetables or salad slows down glucose absorption. You can also add ingredients like cinnamon to oatmeal or smoothies, which has been shown to improve insulin sensitivity. Eating for hormonal balance means eating smarter, not stricter. It's about consistency, nourishment, and giving your body the tools it needs to regulate itself. It's a long-term strategy that supports how you feel, think, move, and age, not just how you look. Eating for hormonal balance isn't just about controlling a few key hormones. It's about creating a stable internal environment where the body's intricate systems can communicate, heal, and function smoothly. One of the most important but often overlooked systems involved in hormone regulation is the gut-liver axis. These two organs play a central role in processing and eliminating hormones, particularly excess estrogen and cortisol byproducts. When they're sluggish or inflamed, hormonal imbalances are more likely to occur and persist. So supporting gut and liver health through food is not optional, it's essential. Let's begin with the liver. This organ is responsible for detoxifying everything we ingest, inhale, or absorb, including used-up hormones. When your liver is overwhelmed by processed food, alcohol, or environmental toxins, its ability to break down hormones becomes impaired. The result? Estrogen and other hormones recirculate in the body longer than they should, amplifying symptoms of imbalance. To support liver detoxification, focus on whole, nutrient-rich foods, especially those rich in sulfur, which help activate detox pathways. Garlic, onions, leeks, and cruciferous vegetables like broccoli and cabbage are all sulfur-rich and help the liver metabolize estrogen more efficiently. Beets and carrots are particularly helpful as they support bile flow, which is essential for flushing out waste, including hormones. Adding lemon to your water, sipping warm herbal teas like dandelion or milk thistle, and reducing alcohol intake all support liver resilience. Now consider your gut. The gut microbiome, a vast network of bacteria that live in your digestive tract, plays a surprising but vital role in hormone health. Certain gut bacteria are responsible for producing enzymes that help break down hormones, while others help signal the immune system, regulate inflammation, and support neurotransmitter production like serotonin and dopamine. When the microbiome is imbalanced due to antibiotics, stress, processed foods, or low-fiber diets, it can lead to something called estrogen reabsorption, where excess estrogen that should have been excreted is instead absorbed back into circulation, worsening symptoms like bloating, cramps, acne, and mood swings. A hormone-supportive gut starts with fiber. Fiber feeds beneficial bacteria and helps maintain a healthy microbiome. Prebiotic fibers, found in asparagus, garlic, leeks, and oats, fuel this good bacteria. Probiotic-rich foods like sauerkraut, kimchi, kefir, and unsweetened yogurt help introduce more of these helpful microbes. Try to eat a wide variety of plant-based foods, at least 20 to 30 different types per week, as diversity in your diet supports diversity in your gut flora. This variety contributes not only to digestion, but to reduced inflammation and better hormonal processing. Don't overlook the power of polyphenol either. These plant compounds, found in foods like green tea, pomegranate, blueberries, and extra virgin olive oil, have anti-inflammatory effects that benefit the gut lining and support hormonal clarity. Another underrated factor in hormonal balance is stress resilience, and food can help here too. Stress doesn't only elevate cortisol, it indirectly affects every other hormone in your body, from thyroid to insulin to reproductive hormones. Chronic stress drains nutrients like magnesium and B vitamins, impairs sleep, damages gut health, and disrupts blood sugar. To counter this, include foods that calm the nervous system. Magnesium-rich choices like pumpkin seeds, spinach, and almonds can lower cortisol and promote better sleep. B vitamins, especially B6, B12, and folate are crucial for neurotransmitter production and energy metabolism. You'll find them in eggs, beans, leafy greens, and whole grains. Omega-3 fatty acids also help reduce systemic inflammation and support mental clarity and mood regulation. Foods like wild salmon, sardines, chia seeds, walnuts, and flax seeds can support a calmer internal state, making it easier for your body to return to balance after stressful events. When stress levels are high, we tend to crave sugar, caffeine, and refined carbs. But these foods spike cortisol and create a vicious cycle. Instead, create a routine that includes frequent, nutrient-dense meals, herbal teas like lemon balm or chamomile, and moments of stillness. Eating for hormonal harmony means creating a safe, consistent environment for your body. This involves more than nutrients, it's about patterns and signals. Don't underestimate the impact of meal timing on hormone health. Eating erratically, skipping breakfast, grazing all day, or binging late at night disrupts your circadian rhythm and causes fluctuations in cortisol and insulin. Aim for regular meals every 4 to 5 hours, starting with a protein-rich breakfast to anchor your blood sugar and reduce mid-morning cravings. Lastly, remember that hormonal balance is not about being perfect. It's about understanding your body's language and responding with nourishment instead of restriction. The gut and liver are your hormone helpers, and when they are cared for, the rest of your system has a much easier time staying in alignment. Small choices like adding fermented foods, cooking with olive oil, sipping on liver-supportive tea, or preparing balanced meals ahead of a stressful week all add up. Over time, these habits create the internal environment your hormones need to thrive, and the changes you feel, more energy, clearer skin, calmer mood, better digestion, are a natural result of that balance. While much of the conversation around hormone health centers on women, the reality is that hormone balance is essential for everyone. However, women experience unique hormonal fluctuations across their menstrual cycles, during pregnancy, and later in life during perimenopause and menopause. These phases introduce changing needs for nutrients and food strategies that support the body through natural transitions. One approach gaining popularity is cycle syncing, adjusting food intake according to the different phases of the menstrual cycle. This concept honors the hormonal shifts occurring throughout a typical 28-day cycle and aligns nutrition with the body's changing needs. During the follicular phase, which begins on the first day of menstruation and continues through ovulation, estrogen levels gradually rise. This is typically a time when energy levels increase, making it a great opportunity to focus on lighter, refreshing foods that support liver detox and estrogen metabolism. Leafy greens, broccoli, flax seeds, berries, and legumes are ideal. Flax seeds in particular are rich in lignans, which help bind excess estrogen and support balanced levels. During this time, digestion tends to improve, and you may feel more active and social. Meals can be creative and colorful. Think grain bowls with quinoa, roasted vegetables, tahini drizzle, and lemony greens. As the cycle moves into the luteal phase, after ovulation and before menstruation, progesterone becomes more dominant. This hormone has a calming effect on the brain and body, but if imbalanced or low, it can lead to PMS symptoms like bloating, cravings, irritability, and fatigue. To support progesterone, increase your intake of magnesium, zinc, and vitamin B6. Foods like chickpeas, turkey, sunflower seeds, spinach, and bananas are all beneficial. During this phase, appetite often increases, so rather than fighting hunger, focus on satisfying meals rich in fiber, protein, and complex carbohydrates. This is the time for grounding foods, sweet potatoes, lentil stews, roasted squash, and whole grain pastas paired with leafy greens and olive oil. Including healthy fats like avocado, nuts, and seeds help stabilize blood sugar and reduce inflammation. As women move into the perimenopausal years, typically beginning in their 40s and continuing through menopause, the production of both estrogen and progesterone begins to decline. This shift can bring with it hot flashes, night sweats, irritability, joint pain, trouble sleeping, and increased belly fat. Supporting hormone production becomes a priority, as does minimizing inflammation and balancing blood sugar. The adrenal glands, which begin to take over some of the hormone production as ovarian output declines, must be supported with stress-reducing foods and routines. Vitamin C, B vitamins, and magnesium are all crucial here, and consistent eating patterns help prevent further cortisol spikes. Focus on whole foods, minimize caffeine and alcohol, and increase foods rich in phytoestrogens. plant-based compounds that gently mimic estrogen in the body. Flax seeds, tempeh, fermented soy, sesame seeds, and lentils are excellent choices and may help reduce symptoms like vaginal dryness and mood swings. Bone broth can be soothing and helpful during this phase, offering collagen and minerals that support joint health and digestion. For women experiencing poor sleep during perimenopause, it's helpful to eat a small, protein-rich snack an hour before bed, such as a boiled egg or a spoonful of almond butter, which may help regulate blood sugar and prevent cortisol-driven wake-ups during the night. Meanwhile, men face their own hormonal challenges, particularly when it comes to testosterone, insulin, and cortisol. Testosterone levels naturally decline with age, but diet and lifestyle can either accelerate or slow this decline. A diet low in nutrients and high in sugar and processed foods contributes to low testosterone, fatigue, depression, and increased fat mass. Zinc, vitamin D, and omega-3s are essential nutrients for male hormone health. Pumpkin seeds, oysters, eggs, leafy greens, and wild-caught fish support testosterone production, while strength training combined with a protein-rich diet can help maintain muscle mass and energy. Men should also pay close attention to gut health and insulin sensitivity, as both are tied to testosterone levels and metabolic function. Whether male or female, hormone balance is impossible to maintain on a foundation of caffeine highs, sugar crashes, erratic meal patterns, and processed foods. The key is building a routine that provides stability, nourishment, and rhythm. Try planning meals around your schedule and body's signals. If you wake up stressed, eat a warm, grounding breakfast like steel-cut oats with walnuts and cinnamon. If you're feeling sluggish mid-afternoon, reach for a boiled egg and a small apple with almond butter instead of a coffee and cookie. Nutrition is not about perfection or strict rules. It's about consistency and kindness to your body. When you feed your body what it truly needs, it responds with better energy, clearer thinking, and emotional steadiness. Hormonal balance isn't a mystery. It's a pattern of smart, supportive choices repeated daily, and those choices can begin with the very next meal. One of the most overlooked yet powerful tools for achieving hormonal balance is consistency, not just in what you eat, but how and when you eat. Hormones respond to patterns, not isolated meals. That means your daily habits, meal timing, sleep, hydration, stress response, are all shaping your hormonal profile whether you realize it or not. And one of the most effective lifestyle tools that intersects with food and hormones is the practice of circadian eating, or aligning meals with your internal biological clock. Your body operates on a 24-hour rhythm, and hormones are released according to this cycle. Cortisol rises in the morning to help you wake up, insulin sensitivity is highest around midday, and melatonin begins to increase in the evening to prepare for sleep. Eating in sync with these rhythms can improve hormone regulation, especially insulin and cortisol. That's why a protein-rich breakfast within 90 minutes of waking is ideal. It helps stabilize blood sugar, prevents mid-morning energy crashes, and sets the tone for cortisol regulation. Skipping breakfast or starting the day with caffeine and sugar, like coffee and a muffin, throws off this rhythm, leading to energy crashes, cravings, and more cortisol later in the day. Lunch should be your most substantial meal, including a mix of quality protein, fiber-rich carbohydrates, and healthy fats. Think salmon over quinoa and arugula with olive oil and sweet potatoes, or a chickpea and avocado wrap with a side of roasted vegetables. This fuels you during the time of day when your metabolism and digestion are strongest. Dinner should be lighter but still balanced, ideally eaten at least 2 to 3 hours before bed to avoid disrupting melatonin production and digestion. Good options include vegetable stir-fries with tofu or chicken, soups with legumes and greens, or baked fish with steamed vegetables and brown rice. Portion size can be slightly reduced in the evening, focusing on gentle digestion and relaxation. Another practice that supports hormonal health, especially for women, is seed cycling. This involves eating specific seeds at different phases of the menstrual cycle to support estrogen and progesterone naturally. During the follicular phase, day 1 to 14, ground flax seeds and pumpkin seeds are recommended. These support estrogen metabolism and provide zinc and lignans to keep levels in check. From day 15 to 28, sunflower and sesame seeds are used to encourage healthy progesterone levels, as they provide selenium and vitamin E. While scientific research is still limited, Many women report improved cycle regularity, less PMS, and clearer skin after consistent seed cycling over several months. Another often ignored yet critical hormone balancing factor is sleep. Poor sleep quality impacts multiple hormones, including cortisol, insulin, ghrelin, and leptin. Just one night of inadequate sleep can lead to increased cravings, impaired blood sugar control, reduced impulse control, and disrupted appetite regulation. While food alone won't solve sleep issues, certain nutrients do play a role in supporting better rest. Magnesium-rich foods like pumpkin seeds, spinach, and almonds help relax the nervous system. Tryptophan-containing foods like oats, turkey, and eggs support the production of serotonin and melatonin. Chamomile tea, tart cherry juice, or a spoonful of pumpkin seeds before bed may help some individuals fall asleep more easily. Avoiding heavy meals, sugar, and caffeine in the evening is also critical to protect melatonin production and support deep, restorative sleep. Another hormone-disrupting factor that requires attention is exposure to endocrine disruptors, chemicals that interfere with hormone production and signaling. These are found in pesticides, plastics, nonstick cookware, household cleaners, and many personal care products. While you can't eliminate exposure entirely, you can significantly reduce it by choosing organic produce when possible, avoiding microwaving in plastic containers, switching to glass or stainless steel storage, and using natural household and skincare products. These small changes reduce the toxic burden on your liver, which in turn frees up more energy for hormone detoxification and regulation. Finally, it's important to shift your mindset about food from something to control or fear into something to trust and rely on. Restrictive eating patterns, chronic dieting, and the constant pursuit of weight loss send stress signals to the body, often resulting in elevated cortisol, slowed metabolism, and disrupted sex hormone function. On the other hand, eating with intention, eating enough, and focusing on nourishment rather than deprivation tells the body that it is safe. And when the body feels safe, hormones work as they should. Instead of constantly chasing symptoms, whether fatigue, acne, weight gain, or mood swings, you start to prevent them by supporting your body's foundational systems. Eating for hormonal balance isn't a fad. It's a lifestyle rooted in stability, variety, nourishment, and rhythm. It doesn't require perfection, expensive supplements, or extreme measures. What it does require is consistency, awareness, and care. When you focus on feeding your hormones, not just cutting calories or macros, you gain more than just better health. You gain steadier energy, clearer skin, deeper sleep, emotional balance, and a body that works with you, not against you.